So, hello guys, what's up? Myself Rajat, and you all know me from my channel VFX World, but also you know him, Steve Wright, sir, with us once again on our channel VFX World. Thank you, sir, for joining us today once again.
Thank you, Roger. It's very nice to be back.
Yeah, we already did a podcast earlier, like around 3.5 years back. And that time I was also young. I don't have that much knowledge about industry, but I am also right now experienced. And sir, thank you so much again. So guys, today we'll talk about so many things. I know you have so many questions in your mind, and trust me, after this podcast end, you got all your answers. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you, people already know about you, sir. You are a great human being. You are like a tiger of nuke. I earlier told you the same word. You're the godfather and all. And I think more than 20 years you are in this industry, right?
I'm afraid it's more like 30.
Oh, wow. Sorry. Actually, I read somewhere like 20 years. So that's right.
I have 20 years in the chair, doing visual effects shots at my own company in Hollywood and also for CineSite Hollywood and others. But then for the last decade, I've been teaching and training. So all up, I've got about 30 years in the visual effects industry.
30 years. I can't imagine 30 years. So just tell us, how are you now?
Oh, I was born very young. So the 30 years is not worn on me very bad at all.
Yeah. So everything is good. You are good, right?
Good.
All good.
Everything is going very well. I got 2 books coming out.
Wow.
Well, the 5th edition of my compositing book, you can see a picture of it up here on the screen, just came out 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it's already almost sold out on Amazon. The Amazon says, we only got 1 copy left. More coming, but we only got 1 copy left.
Great.
Okay. And the 5th edition has a bunch of new content, and a big chunk of that is AI.
Wow.
Okay, I added a section on AI in there. Plus,
it's very important.
Yeah, cryptomats and the new tech in visual effects. So the 5th edition of the book is out about 3 weeks ago. I did an innovative thing on this book. On the front cover is a QR code.
Okay.
And so if you see the book on Amazon or in a store or on your buddy's desk, you can just hold your cell phone over the QR code and it'll play you a promo vid for what the book is about. It'll tell you all about the book.
Like kind of a trailer, what's inside.
Yes. It's like a trailer or an ad.
Okay.
But it tells you, the book talks about this and this and this and this, and here's the new stuff in it, and here's, so it gives you a big overview of the book in just 5 minutes, just from your cell phone. Boom. Very nice.
So guys, I already attached all the details on our description. If you want, you can definitely go and check out his book. Amazing contents. So sir, I just want to ask you the very first question, which is, what's going on in our industry? What's happened? Writer's strike, crew member strike. What do you want to say about this? We all want to know from you.
Well, we're very depressed about all the strikes. And the crazy thing about this is the writer's strike, for example, was one of the main issues in the writer's strike was they didn't want them using AI to do the writing. So while they're on strike, what is everybody doing? They're using AI to do the writing because the writers are out on strike. So the writers have shot themselves in the foot. Okay? But writing is not a visual effect, but that affects our industry. Without the writers, without the directors, the visual effects production is kind of shut down right now. And although they have agreed on those strikes, IATSE, which is another union, is about ready to strike, and that could set the industry back again if IATSE strikes. But the strikes are, of course, about pay and getting a cut, a take of the gate. But AI, fear of AI, is driven a lot of these strike. Okay. The attitude that in visual effects, the attitude that we need to strike is not to fear AI, but to take control of it. Okay. The AI is coming. I hesitate to say it's here because what we have right today is kind of primitive and not terribly effective, but the future potential is unbelievable. AI will only get better. Okay, so it'll get stronger, faster, smarter, more capable over time. And here's the freaky thing about AI. Let's take rotoscoping. That's a classic application of AI in visual effects, okay? Now, right now, it does not do a terribly good job, okay? It uses what's called segmentation, which is a machine learning concept where it tries to isolate the character from the background, and it lacks the finesse of a true rotoscope artist that can, handle the motion blur of the hand or the wisps of the
hair.
Okay? And so it's crude. Right now, it's crude. But here's the freaky thing about AI. As the rotoscoping software in a facility is being trained, it gets better. And that's happening in several facilities around the world. The company that makes the software can collect all that training, incorporate it into the main software, and redistribute it so everybody learns from everybody else. Yeah, see, AI can be, different learning centers can pool their knowledge, okay, and make a supermodel that understands even more. So someday rotoscoping will be very, very good. But at the moment, its problem is the edges. And in rotoscoping, it's all about the edges.
edges, like pixel perfect edge.
Yes. So we can expect big things someday. But as an artist, if you're a rotoscoping artist, you should not be afraid of AI. What you want to do is learn it, learn about it, learn to command it. Soon, our rotoscoping tools will be AI assisted, where the artist guides it. So you're no longer there drawing splines. You're no longer there bouncing between frames. Okay, you're now guiding it like an orchestra leader. Okay, so you must learn to be comfortable with that if you want a job. Okay.
So basically, you need to learn AI also to work with AI, right? So it's like earlier I was also rotoscoping artist. Currently I'm in Paint Prep. So when I was in rotoscoping team, that time 1-2 shots, like difficult shots, it was taking a lot of time. Mostly the hair shots, high motion blur, T-focus shots was taking a lot of time. So whatever it's telling, like it can help us to reduce our time. Time management will be more easier for us, right? Using AI.
Yes. And the interesting thing is that, as you say, time, and of course, time is budget.
Yeah, time is
the cost of the rotoscoping has to do with how many man hours it takes to roto that shot. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, as the time is reduced, the prices get cheaper. But that does not mean that there's going to be less roto work. What will happen is, because it's cheaper, there'll be more demand for it.
Exactly.
Okay? It's an economics thing. Okay. Right now, as you know, visual effects are very, very expensive. Okay. They're getting less expensive, partially due to the help of AI, but partially due to a lot of really smart software, Gaussian splatting, a whole bunch of things like that. But the idea being that as visual effects become less expensive, they become more available, more accessible. So there's more demand. 10 years ago, you would never see visual effects in episodic television. And then here comes Game of Thrones. Okay.
Yeah.
Huge visual effects, big hit. And
Stranger Things also.
Yeah.
Example.
And in fact, Game of Thrones was a disaster for the streaming video. And because what happened was HBO had a huge success, right, with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So everybody jumped in, Paramount and ABC and Netflix, and everybody jumped in. And Google, for Christ's sake, started making their own programming. Well, now there's a glut. See, 2 years ago, we were just cranking out visual effects shots like crazy because everybody was making their own proprietary television show. They were going to do another Game of Thrones, right? Well, there's a glut, and now there's a depression. Streaming video is contracting. Paramount is losing money. Disney Plus is losing money because they all overinvested Okay, they'll get
Over
greedy.
industry.
They got greedy. Ooh, we're gonna all make a lot of money because we'll do Game of Thrones. And that was a boom for us 2 years ago. And now it's a bust because they're all having financial trouble. But the industry will rebound. And like I said, because visual effects will be less expensive, they will be more popular and they will appear in more episodic television.
Absolutely. So the point of view is like asking this question earlier. Like in nowadays, if you know about the frame store, like closed recently. I think the Vancouver or Montreal branch was closed recently. Friends, it's a very sad news for all the artists who worked over. Also, there are so many companies are already closed or trying to close. So people are afraid about their jobs. Also afraid about like what like is a VFX industry is a future. If like parents are also afraid that they don't want to send their still like daughters and all in this VFX industry just because of this many things happened and they don't know how long it will be there. So what do you want to say about this? Like what are gonna be next?
Take this opportunity to study and train, to be ready, because the industry is going to bounce back. Okay, probably within a year, it'll start booming again. Okay, remember the industry's had a couple of shocks. One was the strikes, and the other was the collapse of the streaming video services like Disney Plus and Paramount Plus. Okay, well, it'll hit bottom and then it'll rebound. So it's coming back. So during this quiet period, use this opportunity for training. Improve your skill set. Become knowledgeable of the latest AI tools for whatever trade, whether you're a mad painter or mocap or whatever your skill set is. Okay. Start acquainting yourself with those tools so that when production picks back up again, you can walk in and say, oh, yeah, I know about that.
Yes, absolutely. But sir, I have one question on this. Like you just now told us, you need to learn softwares. So recently on my video section, when I upload any videos, people start commenting that there is no job opportunities, there is no job openings. So why should we learn? Like recently, I started my Nuke training batch. Sorry, sir, I am also doing some training on Nuke, like a basic one. I don't know if you know about that or not. But so on that comment section, people are commenting that there is no job. So why should we learn Nuke or why should we learn any other softwares? So also there is no hiring from last 1.5 years. So I also told them that no, it will back soon. But they are not believing in it and they are leaving the industry.
Mhm.
So they are completely living to the separate industry. Also, they are telling someone, no, VFX is not that like earlier. So just go away. So what do you want to tell? Like people are affected with this industry so much during this things, and after pandemic, it was like boom. VFX industry, the budget, everything was like boom, and right now it's went down again. So what do you want to say?
Well, like I said, in about a year, it'll bounce back. So if you leave the
Definitely.
industry, then you will not be able to participate in the bounce back. But if you love doing visual effects, then get your day job, okay? Work in a restaurant or do whatever you need to do to make a buck. And in the evenings and weekends, continue your visual effects training, okay? So that you'll be ready when the industry returns, because it definitely will return, okay? It's a force of nature. It will be back.
So the next question is like recently the graphic designers like website design UI UX designers are too much affected using like for this AI and all because there are small companies in India. There are many small companies in a room with few computers. They started a normal startup with for web designing or graphic designers and all. They shut their company down just because of they purchased one AI software and they use that software for all the graphic stuffs and all. They use Midjourney for the final output. So for that reason, also companies are shut it down, and also people losing their jobs. So mostly graphics, website UI UX design, like those who do their coding and all. This industry are mostly affected. What do you want to say about on this? Like mostly VFX industry still now a little bit safe, but the lower parts like DMP artists, like matte painters, are in India affected too much.
Yes, matte painters, Midjourney just does a fantastic job at creating still images, and Sola is going to do a fantastic job at creating entire scenes. Okay, the whole production pipeline is going to change here, which takes me right back to what I said: is you need to learn about AI so that you'll be employable when the industry returns. But I mean, because if you're a graphic artist painter, I'm afraid the world doesn't need as many graphic artist painters now that we have Midjourney. Okay, so you'll have to find, a related trade, something different, or learn to run the software yourself. Okay, learn to run Midjourney, learn to master, because the whole secret to successful Midjourney images is prompts. It's about the prompts. Okay, how well can you prompt? So become a master prompter.
So Rishi, you are talking about like prompt engineering, like you need to learn how to write a good prompt
Yes.
to get a good output,
Yes.
and using that output you can create a visual effects.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
So in future, people should learn visual effects and prompt engineering side by side
Yes.
to get a good output, also in a shortest time.
The idea being that in the future of visual effects, AI will be an important part of everybody's tools, whether it's the main tool or an assist, like in other scenario, like for mocap, motion capture, for smoothing the data and mapping it to the skeleton. AI is an assist. You still need humans in there to do the motion capture and to tell the machine what to do. But for something like Midjourney and the painting, you have to give it a prompt to tell it what you want. And the better the prompt, the better the results. So become very good at that. But the whole idea is to take this quiet time in the industry and use that to your advantage to improve your knowledge and your training and your skills. So when the industry does come roaring back, you'll be ready.
So talking about the upgrade yourself. So what you want to suggest for the newcomers or students, also they like me, those who already are working in this industry, what are the pipelines you want to upgrade? Like I am currently paint prep artist. So what do you want to suggest me to upgrade myself to get job in future, or also not losing my job currently? What you want to suggest?
So are you a painter?
Yeah, I currently am paint prep artist.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously Midjourney is your top of the line candidate. Okay. And right now you can get demo software. Won't cost you a dime. Okay. Or even a full account for Midjourney is what, $20 a month or something. I mean, anybody can afford that.
Yeah.
So the idea is to jump in there, learn, participate, practice, and put together a demo reel, showing your new stuff using the new tools. You have to access, there's all kinds of software out there that you can get for free. They'll give you demo versions of it. Okay. They want people using it. And by the way, while you're using their software, you're training the mothership, the master at headquarters, okay? Because it's watching everything you're doing, okay?
Yeah.
And
AI is also taking data.
Yes. So you think you're using their software? No, you're training their models, okay?
To better and better.
Yes. So you can get a lot of free software, just tons of it out there for lip sync, for voiceovers, for matte paintings, for keying, compositing, green screen keying, rotoscoping, all kind of face replacement, all kind of tracking. AI is a big assist in tracking, machine learning for tracking. Yeah.
The very good example is like keying tools. And don't be familiar with keying tools. They can track the facials, geo tracker. They basically use machine learning for this.
Right.
Right now they have more powerful. They introduce their software in Blender also. Earlier they started with Nuke. Right now Blender, and they've elaborated more in future.
They even have featureless facial tracking. You don't have to put tracker markers on anymore.
It will automatically grab.
Wow. I mean, wow.
I use their software from last 3 years and absolutely amazing. just perfectly facial track. In fact, they can track the lip sync, eye blinking, perfect, and it's good. It's good.
Yep.
So
It still needs a little bit of human touch up, right?
yeah, obviously, it's
So
required.
you still need a person in the loop. Okay.
Yeah,
Got to have the artist. You got to have the artist. Okay. It's the artist that knows when it's wrong and how to fix it. Okay. So you still got to
But
use.
AI can't.
Just think of it this way, though. Before AI, you could, rotoscope 100 frames a day. Now with AI, you can rotoscope 500 frames a day. Okay, but you're still rotoscoping. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the tools have changed, and you have to adapt to that change. Embrace it. Don't fear it.
So, sir, my next question is about recently I read somewhere in LinkedIn that Sony Pictures want to promote their entire stuffs using AI. So they are removing people from their production team, and they are using AI for promoting all the social media stuffs and all. So is it a good way for doing this, using AI completely, and they're like promoting this like we want to use AI and we will use AI for all our social media stuffs?
That is a common mistake. Remember my story about HBO and Game of Thrones, and everybody rushed in. Okay, we got the explosion, and now it's collapsed. Well, the same thing is happening here. Okay, everybody's rushing to the AI, and they're over applying it. What they're going to find is that the AI does not do as good a job, okay, as the humans do. What you need to do is use some AI and some people, not all AI. So they're going to learn that they went all AI, they saved a bundle of money, but the results were not as good. So they're going to have to hire back some of those people, okay, some of the creatives, some of the designer types, and then they'll use AI to produce the actual visuals.
So coming to the different portion, like virtual production. So current days, people are asking that comp department will be affected for this virtual production or Unreal Engine. Is it true? Because virtual production can replace compositors. Because people are using a virtual production like big LCD TVs to get some. But in my opinion, when I saw those films, there are lack of depth, lack of realism, and also there are a lot of lighting issue.
Yes.
But the plus point is there is no aging issue.
Yes.
The aging is like good enough.
Yeah.
So what do you want to say about this? Like compositors will replace by this virtual production?
Okay, LED volumes. You're referring to the LED volumes where you have the big virtual production. You're right. What it does is it does poor quality compositing cheap. Okay, you just pointed out the key issues. Okay, very astute observer. And even with virtual production, there's a lot of fixing you have to do in post using Nuke to fix some of the problems in the shot. So it's not like the compositing went away. It changed to fixing the problems that they in the capture. But the virtual production stages, the environments, they lack they don't have high dynamic range. Okay, so it's not really very good for feature film. It's okay for television because television has limited dynamic range. Okay, but for feature film, you need 20 stops of brightness. Okay, for an outdoor scene, and they can't do that. So, but you're right. The one of the virtues of the virtual stage is they throw light on the character. Okay. And you get interactive lighting. So if an explosion goes off back there, the guy gets lit up on the side of the face, and that's cool. Okay. But as you pointed out, some of it's not very realistic.
The lack of depth, mostly I face that.
Yeah. You also have to design your shots so that it doesn't reveal the fact. You don't want to show the feet, okay? Because now you have to show the intersection of the set to the edge of the LED wall, okay? And that's not a pretty line, okay? So you can get limited camera options, okay? But it's inexpensive. I mean, once you build a hugely expensive virtual set, and you staff it with the very expensive technicians and artists it takes to operate it, okay, because you've got the brain bank sitting there, right, running all the NVIDIA cards and loading in the software and moving the tree for the director. The director wants the tree a little bit more to the right, okay. So you got the guys that operate the system for everybody. But the quality is not as good, okay. But it is considerably, once you have built the set, it's considerably less expensive. I mean, look at The Mandalorian. I mean, that is an episodic television that is all visual effects. I mean, that used to be a Star Wars movie 20 years ago, okay, with giant sets and huge green screens and all the accoutrements that go along with that. And now they're doing it with a virtual set. Well, and it's television, Rec 709, limited dynamic range. So it works. It's pretty good. But because it's so inexpensive once you've built the infrastructure, they can do visual effects cost effectively that way. So it's here to stay. Okay. But it does not put an end to our compositing job. It changes the nature. Like I said, we have to fix a lot of the problems they have on set. Okay. And it's not as pretty as if you had done the real visual effect.
So people are asking also paint prep department also will affect. So I told them that it's a creative field. Nobody can replace. But in nowadays, Adobe Premiere Pro introduced one unique feature. And they introduce they can remove something from your footage easily, just like one single click. They can rotoscope on that. So what's your opinion on? Because when I made a video on that, I fixed from my end and I saw simultaneously, this is my output, this is Adobe's output. So people can judge. But why they introduce this type of outputs in front of people when they can see there are a lot of mistakes. That's not photoreal. That only works for, television and work, but still there we can see so many flaws over there. Then why they release this type of updates? They are using, I think, OpenAI for this AI thing to create this type of outputs.
So you're saying why did they demonstrate software that didn't work so well?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a good question. Maybe they absolutely had to. They had a deadline. They had to meet it. They weren't ready, and it's too bad we have to go because we've bought $50 million in advertising. Okay. But that's, like I was saying, it's not here yet. Okay. It's not ready yet. People speak in glowing terms about AI. They don't understand the details of implementation. And so there are problems you're not aware of. Okay. And it shows up, like you said, it shows up on the screen as funny edges and weird pixel popping and strange things going on because it's not there yet, but it will be. It will be. Here's the thing to remember about AI. There is no upper limit to what it can do. Okay, it can be continuously improved and get smarter and better almost infinitely. So one day it will do what the demonstration that you saw, it'll do it well, but not right now, not yet.
Yeah, too many corrections we can directly see right from our mobile screen.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, we fix it in post. That's what people required, human required.
Right.
Exactly. So I think about India situation during this thing and all. So in India, if you don't believe, there are so many artists are waiting for when the company will start hiring. So my question is, mostly there are freshers and there are so many artists also, they have a lot of experience. They have their salaries like in India, Indian money, 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh salaries. So they are afraid when the hiring will resume, they will get job, how they will get job during, because there are so many competitions and how company will hire them. So what's your opinion on this? So how people should apply to get a job easy?
Well, I'm afraid your point is very well taken. There are so many freshers, as you say. There are also high-paid senior people. And when the companies start rehiring, they're not going to want to pay those high salaries anymore. Okay? Here's the bottom line. Visual effects is what we call a glamour industry. People love to work in it. So there's a lot of people entering in. There's a lot of competition. When there's a lot of competition for your job, the pay for your job will go down. That's economics, okay? Because we're a glamour industry, all right? So what for you personally to survive in this is you need a discriminator. You need something about you that makes you different, better than the other guys, okay? And that is more training, more knowledge, more experience. Even though you don't have a job right now, this is why I'm saying take advantage of this time to improve your skill set. Training, training, training.
Like training makes you perfect.
Makes you better. And what you want to be is better than the guy next to you, okay? And you have to demonstrate it, okay? You can't just say it. So you got to get yourself a website, which is trivial today, making a website. And you got to put examples of your work, even though it's private work you did on the side, doesn't matter. If I'm hiring, I don't care whether the shot you're showing me was for a blockbuster film or something you did over a weekend. As long as it demonstrates the skill that I need in the artist I want to hire, you're hired. So a demo reel, okay, is your ticket to success when they start rehiring. But you're right, the pay will not be as grand as it used to be.
But it will grow gradually, or it will be same like pay scale will down.
I would expect the overall pay scale to drop overall. Okay,
Not like earlier.
when, back in the early 90s, when I was hired at CineSite Hollywood, I was hired as a senior compositor. I was paid $90,000 a year, American. Okay, as a compositor. Okay, nobody makes that kind of money today. Okay.
I'm just imagining that time.
Yeah. So it is because, again, we're a glamour industry. There's a lot of people wanting to get in, a lot of competition. So you can't get rid of the competition. What you can do is make yourself different and better. That discriminator I spoke of. What makes you special? It's a demo reel. Okay, so your secret to success is a demo. You should be working on your demo reel, constantly improving it, rolling over with the new shots, get rid of the old shots, make it better, better, better. So when the industry does return, you're ready.
So demo reel is very, very important with a more good quality, highest quality from your end. So talking about the quality, I have one question suddenly popped in my mind that earlier, like Avengers first film and right after Avengers Endgame, the Marvel Pictures quality VFX like dropped gradually. Why? Why? People are asking this from everywhere.
Well, Disney bought Marvel.
Okay.
Okay, and Disney bought Pixar and ruined it. Disney bought Marvel and ruined it. Disney bought Lucasfilm and ruined it. Okay. So the Disney management has made colossal ego blunders. Okay. They think they're so smart because their stuff was a success. And the problem is, and I've worked in 3 Fortune 500 companies, so I'm familiar with the corporate culture. And what happens in a large, successful company is the guy in charge begins to believe that the success of the company is due to him.
Okay.
Well, I'm in charge. The company is hugely successful. Therefore, it's about me. No, it's not. It's about your team. Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. Well, but the ego moves in. Okay. So they start to think that the artist is less important than they are. Okay, that the programmer that can write the elegant software that makes production flow is not that important. I'm the most important guy. So they tend to downgrade the importance of those people. And to save money, Disney is in serious financial trouble. So the natural instinct of a company that's in serious financial trouble is to let go of your most expensive staff. Keep the younger, cheaper people. Well, the younger, cheaper people aren't as good as the senior, expensive people. So Disney has deprecated or reduced the quality of the visual effects due to mismanagement, I guess would be the short form of the story.
But what about the web series? Like Loki web series when I saw on Disney Plus Hotstar, it was a good VFX. Also, like there are so many web series released on Netflix, good VFX. So recently I saw in feature film VFX got dropped, but in web series which have longer duration, VFX got better. Very few, but you can see the good VFX on web series too. Why?
Different production group, okay? There are different people working on those. And by good management, they got good people working on Loki. But for this feature film, they didn't get such good people. And so the visual effects were not as good. So it's different production teams, entirely different production teams. You know, who's the shot wrangler?
So talking about the quality once again, there are few open source softwares in market. One is Blender and Unreal Engine. And people have loved working with this, and they are rendering some amazing qualities recent days in Blender. I am also using Blender. My so many videos got viral also in Unreal also. So people are asking me that if Blender and Unreal can do, like in Blender, we can do texturing, modeling, rigging, then why still production houses are using Maya? And why Maya is so useful when Blender is a free open source software?
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Maya costs thousands of dollars. Nuke costs $4,500 American, right? But Blender has some compositing capability. The professional softwares have a couple things that the open source software does not have. The professional software, I use Nuke as an example because I'm very familiar with the Foundry and all like that, is they listen to the industry very closely. So when Weta Digital says, we would like to have this feature added to the software, boom, it's there. Okay. And the Foundry has a huge staff of engineers so they can add features frequently. Okay, they can enhance the software frequently. Open source software is open source. Anybody can write some code. Maybe the code is not so good. Maybe it's not tested as well. Maybe it's buggier. Okay, so the professional software is going to be more responsive to the clientele that use it, the companies that use it, and it's going to have more features and functions that they are looking for. And also, there's a tech support department that you can call that'll help you out when you get stuck in production. Okay, so that though the support and the depth behind it. And also a large car like Weta Digital or ILM or Pixar, they don't want to be using free software that anybody can get. Okay. They want to use the heavy stuff, okay, that only the big boys can get. Okay.
So in Nuke, I saw first time, I think in 13, Copycat Node. You also talked earlier starting this podcast, that Copycat. And in my case, I also used Copycat for one project that was a host kind of a shot. So that rotoscoping gave us a very good output. But still, after that rotoscope, we did some manual works to fix some holes on mats. So right now, Nuke introduced 15 and the latest 16, 17 will come soon. So what Copycat, how much will powerful in future to help artists to get a good mat? Can you please explain on Copycat?
Oh, yes. It's obviously, like I said, it's going to improve, okay? And it's going to get better. And the training, training is the key to AI, okay? And training is expensive. You have to give the learning system, you have to give it training material that's been approved, tested, verified. You can't just throw a bunch of stuff at it. Okay, it has to be cultivated and prepared. If you want to train machine vision to recognize a cat, what you have to do is present it with a picture of a cat and label it cat. Then you show a picture of a dog and you label it dog. Okay, you can't just show it random pictures of cats and dogs. So you have to prepare the training material. So training these AI models is very expensive and slow. Okay, but what's happening is, as people are using the software, the model is getting smarter. So the foundry will re-release the next version, and the copycat node will be even smarter. Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. Copycat is more good from earlier version.
Yes. Yeah. And right now I used it, and it was just the training was very slow. Okay, I had to let it just grind and grind and grind. So
we need high-end PC to get the final renders. In my case, it take 9 hours to get a 20-50 frames shots to get rendered in highest quality. Like epochs, we need to increase or decrease the epochs and all to get a highest quality. That's the issue I face.
Well, and the solution is a render farm. Having a cloud-based rendering. See, a lot of AI is really processor intensive. So if you have access to an external render farm or any kind of an AI server that you can farm the heavy work out to, and then 15 minutes later you get your results back instead of 9 hours later. Okay. So that'll help. Also, the inference engines that they're getting better at taking the inference engine is the part of AI that creates the output. Okay, for generative AI, we want the images as the output. So the inference engine is the part of AI that creates the picture, creates the text, creates the audio. They're getting better at the inference engine, making them smaller and more compact. They even have dreams of having an inference engine in your PC in the next couple years. Okay, so it's resident on your machine. Instead, right now you have to get online and you talk to OpenAI over the internet. Okay, Midjourney, it's all being done on their computer. You upload the prompt, you download the picture. But soon, the inference engine will be resident on your personal laptop and eventually in your cell phone.
So my next question, actually I have two questions in my mind. First of all, about the copycat once again. Just can you please, the copycat is an AI thing, right? It's run the AI thing in backend. So can you please explain how exactly this AI thing can learn, like running on backend to get an output? And one more thing is, Stable Diffusion, I saw on post LinkedIn that Stable Diffusion will introduce inside of Nuke.
Yeah, Stable Diffusion.
Is it true? And what's the story behind the Stable Diffusion inside of Nuke?
I had not heard that. That surprises me. That does not sound like a good fit. Why would Nuke, which composites visual effects shots, why would they want to use Stable Diffusion? That's an image generation that makes pixels. I would doubt that story.
No, I saw someone post that they want to create clean plates using Stable Diffusion.
Okay, I don't know why they would want. That's a different business. Okay, that's a whole different business. I do not know the role that Stable Diffusion would play in Nuke. Okay, Nuke.
I was also surprised when I saw.
Yeah, Nuke is an image manipulation package. Stable Diffusion is an image generation package. Yeah. So I had not heard that story. I'm surprised to hear it. So I don't know where that's going. Okay.
And what about that copycat backend?
Okay. Well, copycat uses machine learning, and the people think that AI is neural networks. Okay. Well, frankly, neural networks are a metaphor for what's going on inside the chip physically. Okay. What really happens is that your neural network becomes becomes matrix multiplication. You can simulate a neuron with matrix multiplication, with a matrix math. Okay? So there are no neurons inside those chips. What there are is matrix mathematic operations, which is something that silicon can do very fast and very effectively. In fact, that's what all the NVIDIA chips are about, is matrix multiplication. Okay, all the AI NVIDIA chips. So you're creating ones and a whole bunch of numbers that describe the interconnection between the nodes of the neural network, but they're all a mathematical simulation. There are no neurons, there's no network. It's this matrix multiplication operation. So the mission is take your problem and turn it into this huge matrix multiply operation and then do the math to get the answer you want. Okay. So they're working on, making the algorithms more effective and the learning faster. And of course, our boxes, our CPUs are getting faster too. And in fact, now, that there's your computer has a CPU and a GPU. Okay. Well, soon there'll be an NPU, a neural processing unit, okay? A dedicated card that does all your AI computations for you, just like there's a graphics card to do all your graphics computation, okay? So
I'm just amazed after listening to this.
yes, someday there will be, like the GPU, we will have a separate card that does your AI process, because that is a high-powered, focused, narrow brand of computing. The CPU does general software, so it'll solve general problems. But the GPU, graphics processing unit, very fast. All it does is one class of problem: compute pictures. Okay, it's a SIMD architecture, same in, multiple data out. So it very fast at rendering polygons and doing lighting. All of that's baked into the silicon. So one of these days, we're going to have next to the GPU card an NPU card, a neural processing unit, okay, to handle all the AI computations in our work. Okay, so the software, just like now today, Nuke or Maya or anybody else will send the work to the GPU card. In the future,
we'll send to that NPU card. So that graphic card will use for different purpose, and that NPU card will use only dedicated for AI purpose to not load on your system.
Well, the GPUs are like 50 to 100 times faster than the CPU at computing images. Okay, so just no comparison. Same thing with this separate. I'm calling it an NPU. Okay, that I just made that up. But
I think people should use this, or also you should copyright this name.
But functionally, it'll be the same exact concept. That GPU card right next to that's an NPU card, and the system will hand off the AI computations to it and get the answer back just like it does to the GPU card.
So now, sir, I'm coming to your book. So you want to talk about your book, like what kind of features you added in your book, and is it good for freshers or people who already know about VFX? They can only buy and they can only understand. So please talk about your book. This is very important.
Yes. Thank you very much. It's the 5th edition. Okay. The publisher comes knocking on my door and says, okay, time for a new edition. Okay. So I have to sit down and write a new edition. But I in this edition, I threw out old material. Okay. I retired 5 sections in the book. Although I had a section on 35 millimeter film. Gone.
Okay.
I had a section on doing visual effects for VR, virtual environments. Well, that was really hot 3 years ago. But today that's not so hot. So I took that section out. Now, what I did was I put them into a PDF file, and it's on the publisher's website. So the information is not gone. Okay. So if you still want to learn how to deal with NTSC video with a non-square pixel and interlaced, the material information is still available on the publisher's website. Okay. So I threw out, because I could not increase the word count, I could not increase the picture count in the book for the 5th edition. So I had to remove something, and then I put in a big section on AI. Okay. A big section on cryptomats. A big section
Cryptomat, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the cryptomat, very cool. Okay, I love cryptomat. And more.
I also love.
Yeah, and more the software, it's become an industry standard. All the software, everybody supports it now. It's great. And it's for compositors. It's for us. And then I added a section on besides the cryptomats and the AI, And ACES, learning about ACES. ACES is color management.
Okay.
Okay, OCIO.
Mhm.
Okay, OCIO is a discipline, an agreed standard for sharing color correction between departments and companies. Okay, it's a standardized color correction model, if you will. So that if I apply a gamma correction to my picture, you can apply the same gamma correction at your end, you get the same results. Okay.
Okay.
That's OCIO. It has many other features. It has to be set up by somebody in the company, like the colorist for the company. But things like there'll be tools in there in the OCIO for converting video to linear. And you, the artist sitting at Nuke, all you have to do is pop and select video to linear. Somebody else has configured it to know that it's Rec 709 or Rec 1880 or any other video PAL or NTSC video format. He's already set it up. You don't have to worry about it. You just select video to linear, boom, and off you go. So it simplifies the work for the artist. It standardizes the work. ACES is a color management system used in the film industry that is now percolating down into the video industry. Okay, and even we're trying to get it into the gaming industry for Unreal Engine. Okay, but the idea of ACES is it provides a grand unified field theory of color management. The short form of the story is you capture video with a camera, or you render it with Maya, or you take a photograph with a DSLR. All three of those represent the same scene with their particular point of view. The camera has baked into the picture some of the camera's attributes. So with ACES, the first step in the pipeline is the camera attributes are backed out. Every camera manufacturer now produces a file that allows you to back out the camera's characteristics from the image you shot. And once the camera's attributes have backed out, you now have data for the actual light from the scene. And it's now called scene referred image. Okay? Scene referred, meaning this is the light from the original scene. So theoretically, 4 different cameras could be used, and all 4 would produce the same results because the camera's fingerprints have been backed out of the picture. Okay, so from there, it then goes into the central ACES color space, which is a huge color space, larger than anything that the human eye can possibly see. Okay, it is very large, and that way your data is never clipped, it's never cropped, there's no compression, no losses, by having a huge workspace. You can do all your image processing and manipulation, do all your color grading in it, and then on the output side, now internally it's a linear, and linear images are all dark and murky and hideous and awful, right? So on the output side, the RRT, the rendering transform, applies a film-like S-curve to it. Okay, because when everybody said that, everybody sat down and said, okay, what's our standard? What's a good picture? And everybody said film. Okay, what film does is good. So fine. So they baked into the RRT a film response curve. Okay, and then on top of that, you add any color grading you want. Then you have your rendering output. If I'm going to render, I've got one shot, one scene, but I need to send it to video, film, laptops, cell phones, and every one of those is a different color space. Mm-hmm. ACES has output options for every one of those so that what you get on each of those devices looks the same, even though...
Same.
Yes, that's the whole idea. The 2 golden rules of color management: preserve the original artistic intent and give it the same appearance on all platforms.
Exactly. So that people can experience same thing.
Yes. And that's getting harder and harder to do today because we have so many different displays today. Okay, we have HD TV, UHD TV, OLED, QLED, P3 color space for your digital cinema, and you got all your cell phones, and then we have workstation monitors, which are in sRGB color space. So the output side becomes really complicated. Okay, yeah. When you're mastering a movie, you have your 24p master. Now you have to output 10, 15 different versions of it for your feature film, because you got to make a different one, whether it's going to a digital cinema projector. Maybe you're going to shoot it. Maybe you're going to shoot it on some film for projecting to India. India still has some 35 millimeter film projectors, you know. And if it's going to go to IMAX, okay, you need a different color space, so you might have to make 10 or 15 different color versions of your feature film for all those different markets. ACES makes all of that entirely possible. So I have a large section on OCIO and ACES in the book.
So is this good for mostly fresher or experienced?
Oh, well, okay. I like to say it's good for everybody. Okay, for both. Okay. The senior people will know, because I'm teaching a lot of things for freshers in there. How to make a Luma key. Okay. Well, senior guy knows how to do that. Okay. But I also put in some tips and tricks and some mathematical things that might be helpful. So even the senior guy will pick up something. Okay. But the book...
They can learn more.
Yes, learn more. Increase his knowledge, even though he already knows how to make a Luma key. For example, a Luma key, you have a Luma keyer, okay? It's going to take your RGB image and it's going to make a one-channel grayscale image. Mm-hmm. But it's going to use a particular rule. The Luma key is, in roughly speaking, it's going to take 60% of the green channel, 20% of the red channel, and 10% of the blue channel. Okay. Put them together to make your luminance image. Well, if I'm trying to make a Luma key on some object in the frame, maybe I should use more red and less green, and that item will pop. Okay, so by juggling the equation, you can make your target pop out of the Luma key, and I show things like that.
Like enhancing the power of Luma key,
yes,
using your tips and
yes, yes.
So guys, please purchase his book. You can learn a lot of things. You can really... I also going to purchase after this podcast for sure. So, sir, I am almost about to end this podcast. So I just have one last question.
Sure.
Also, if you have anything for our audience, you can definitely take your side. My question is like, after 10 years or 20 years, what the VFX industry is?
10 or 20 years from now?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Now. From now, today. From today to after.
Well...
It will become a sci-fi world?
Yes. It'll be largely speech-driven. You'll talk to it. Okay. You'll describe what you want. The system will then ask you questions before it's made any pictures. Well, did you mean, a large German Shepherd or an Irish Setter? No, I want an Irish Setter. By the way, could you make it a big Irish Setter? Yes, master. So it'll ask you questions, and when everybody's happy with the prompt, that becomes the prompt. It'll then produce the footage. Okay. One thing I've been very disappointed. I use DALL-E a lot to make images for the books and for website, for video training videos and things. And one problem that DALL-E has is the ability to say, I like this picture, but could you move that over there? Giving it instructions to change the picture. It doesn't do that well. Okay. So that's an area it really needs to work on.
People also telling that this is the initial phase. AI will upgrade more and it will represent.
Yeah, this is only OpenAI 4.0. I'm sorry, it's not 4.0, it's 4.0.
Photo.
Yeah, it's four letter O for omnibus. It's not 4.0. Okay. But so I've been disappointed in DALL-E in that regard. Okay, but they'll get it. They'll fix it. So you'll have this conversation with the system. It'll ask you questions. You'll answer the questions, and when you're all done, you say, "Okay, produce the video," and the inference engines will crank out the pictures for you. Okay.
So anything you want to tell for our small students or to all?
Well, just I want to reiterate what I said before. Don't be depressed that the industry is down right now. Okay, this is a temporary situation due, like we said, due to the strikes and the collapse of the online streaming video like Netflix, Paramount, Disney. They overinvested. They lost their butts, and now they're having to contract. Okay. So right now is a very ugly time for us. But in a year, things will be better. In that coming year, use this time to learn. Build a demo reel. Have a beautiful website.
So guys, I know your all answers are covered yet, but if you have anything, please don't worry. Just comment me and I'll talk to him and send you all the answers. And thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much for joining us today, giving us time, 1 hour, 1.5 hours from your Tuesday's schedule. So I hope we'll make another podcast very soon with some more amazing new content. And maybe VFX, not maybe, I'm definitely sure that VFX industry will come back with some major steps, and we've all got our jobs back.
Well, I tell you what, I have a new book coming out in November on color science. Okay. And it's intended for visual effects artists. So when that book comes out, we should reconvene because everybody needs color science. Okay.
Exactly. Color science is very important.
Very important. Okay. All right, then. Until next time.
Yeah. Next time, sir. Definitely, sir. We'll meet again. We'll do another podcast. Thank you so much once again for joining.
My pleasure.
See you guys, and keep watching VFX.